biopharmaceutical companies have one very important...
No better place to celebrate America's independence than beneath this magnificent, incredible, majestic mountain and monument to the greatest Americans who have ever lived. Today we pay tribute to the exceptional lives and extraordinary legacies of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt. I am here as your president to proclaim before the country and before the world, this monument will never be desecrated. These heroes will never be defaced. Their legacy will never, ever be destroyed. Their achievements will never be forgotten. And Mount Rushmore will stand forever as an eternal tribute to our forefathers and to our freedom. Our founders boldly declared that we are all endowed with the same divine rights given us by our Creator in heaven. And that which God has given us, we will allow no one ever to take away, ever. (1776) represented the culmination of thousands of years of Western civilization and the triumph of not only spirit, but of wisdom, philosophy, and reason. And yet, as we meet here tonight, there is a growing danger that threatens every blessing our ancestors fought so hard for, struggled, they bled to secure. Our nation is witnessing a merciless campaign to wipe out our history, defame our heroes, erase our values, and indoctrinate our children. Angry mobs are trying to tear down statues of our founders, deface our most sacred memorials, and unleash a wave of violent crime in our cities. Many of these people have no idea why they're doing this, but some know exactly what they are doing. They think the American people are weak and soft and submissive. But no, the American people are strong and proud, and they will not allow our country and all of its values, history, and culture to be taken from them. We want free and open debate, not speech codes and cancel culture. We embrace tolerance, not prejudice. We support the courageous men and women of law enforcement. We will never abolish our police or our great Second Amendment, which gives us the right to keep and bear arms. We believe that our children should be taught to love their country, honor their history, and respect our great American flag. We stand tall, we stand proud, and we only kneel to Almighty God.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Jeremiah 15 and verse 5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory. Call Haloyim, La Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Arachakodas Brakathum. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth for faith and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat, any Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, looking like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. This is the brother Yawasop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah. And this is like we say, all these things happen at once. But through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, we're gonna push through it. And I just wanted to play that video. I've been meaning to do lessons on 4th of July, but sometimes Satan be hindering, or ultimately it's all the will of the Lord, seeing what you gonna do. That's how I took it. But I came across an article and some information, and I just had to bring it out. This is the time being. I had the article pulled up, but for whatever reason, you see what's talking about a survey, and then this dude texting. So anyhow, bear with me for a second so I can go grab the article. Okay, Salakia for that. Wow, it did it again. Bear with me for a second. Okay, Salakia for the confusion. So basically I came across this article because we all are aware, especially the brothers in the truth. There's been many protests going on, and there was a protest on July 4th, the same day that they call themselves celebrate. That's why Trump actually had, well, it's my vain opinion, but a lot of things happen on July 4th. I'm not gonna go into detail. If you're in the truth, that's one thing, but I'm gonna just say this: it was a very spiritual day. It had a lot of judgment. Esau, he made moves. It's just multiple things. At the end of the day, he chose to go and do his speech at Mount Rushmore. So I got two articles, and I came across the article somebody made a mention of. Basically, if you know the history of that land, it was taken from, basically the original inhabitants, the Israelites. You know how he do it, but just watching that speech, you see the pride of this devil. But on top of that, when you go into the history of it, you'll find out it's just blatant racism and disrespect, and it just show you the pride. And then it's funny because now, that's the one thing about E. That's why his punishment gonna be so great upon him, because they so proud. They don't even realize, they don't look at it. I just watched a video where a kid was dating, I think, a Jake, or a nigga woman, but literally, I'm gonna say nigga, because she had to be a nigga woman if she dating the Edomite. She thinking she better than Jake. But long story short, he invited her to a dance, but he said the most racist shit. And you know how they do, he gonna get a smack on the wrist. So he's a child. You know what I mean? You literally see this day in, day out. And then you got these stupid brainwashed ass people that, I can actually say and attest to this. I grew up in an age to the point where I remember where we come from. We was brought over here on ships. I don't understand how all these people could be more upset at people that look like and it's just the way that the Lord set it up. I don't mean to be jumping around, but I constantly keep on thinking about it. You had people actually robbing actual jewelry stores and trying to actually break into ATMs. Jake broke into fucking the villa. This is a nigga's mind state, and that's why they got to be fucking destroyed. Salakia, that must have been in my spirit. At the end of the day, this article, like I said, because it just shows you the pride of that devil. Salakia, the pride of the devil. Like I say, you go into this Mount Rushmore protest because it was a protest, and they arrested everybody before he could do a speech because they was trying to protest before. They was trying to actually stop them coming up there, but they squashed that shit. They put a heel to the neck of Jake. So I'm gonna go into the article. Then I got another article. I got a few scripts. I'm gonna end the lesson because I ain't trying to make this no 40-minute video, and I tend to do that. So it says, this is by Rapid City Journal. It says, Mount Rushmore protest leader charged with 2 felonies. It's dated July 6, 2020. And I guess the author is Ariel Ziontes. Tilson center stands on top of one of the vans blocking Highway 244 near Mount Rushmore during a protest on Friday. Jeff Easton. So that, I guess, that's the person that took the picture. I think Nick Tilson is the man that's in the center. A packed courtroom of supporters learned Monday morning that one of the protest leaders who helped shut down the highway to Mount Rushmore on Friday is facing 5 criminal charges, including 2 felonies. And that's the point of me bringing out that second scripture in Jeremiah. Who shall pity for thee? Because at the end of the day, your oppressor's not going to pity for you. And, you got these other nations that ain't going to pity for you. Shit, you got 2/3 ain't going to pity for you. You got 2/3 that look at you like you crazy because you feel some kind of way about what happened to your people. What the fuck? But then still, though, you got these Edomites that took this land telling you that they not going to let you desecrate their land that they stole. This is the best. And that's why it tells you in the book of Isaiah about the turning of things upside down. We live in a fucked up, anyhow, Salaki. Nick Tilson is charged with second-degree robbery for allegedly stealing a shield. Now, it's allegedly, so it can't be proven. But to show you how the devil is the devil, I did a video on it. It was a Jake woman. Right after this George Floyd shit, it was a Jake woman. It was a Jake that literally, basically, she got pulled over by Esau and literally they put the knee on the neck. So they fired the police officer, but the point is this: they literally try to say it was allegedly, because allegedly is basically saying that it's basically haven't been proven yet. But they got film of him doing this. So this is just how the Esau plays with words. You get what I'm saying? Now, this dude probably didn't grab no shield because most of the protesters are peaceful. It's only when Esau got a hand in it that they literally becoming violent. That's why you got videos that's surfacing showing, Black Lives Matters, but you got Edomite women with masks on. You could clearly see their face, but you know what I mean? You can't see their mouth and nose, but you can see that they're so-called white and they spray painting Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? It literally tell you, J. Edgar Hoover made a statement. He said, it will never be another so-called black messiah unless we actually create him. Now you got this fucking dude, Grandmaster Jay, talk about, oh yeah, we gonna rise up. And he talking about planetary alignments and all this old shit. And that's what I meant by it was significant on July 4th, because that's how I know he juiced in. Most people don't know about the significance of July 4th. They chose to actually celebrate the Independence Day on that day for a reason. Nick Tilson is charged with second-degree robbery for allegedly stealing a shield. So my point is he probably didn't even steal it. They probably really just, anybody that's been through the system knows how, the most coldest, toughest, most ruthless gang in the world is the fucking police department. A prosecutor said during his initial appearance at the Pennington County Courthouse in Rapid City, Tilson is also charged with simple assault for allegedly assaulting the same officer. The 38-year-old Porcupine, I don't think that's Porcupine. It might be Porcupine. Porcupine resident who appeared in court via a video feed from the Pennington County Jail is also charged with 3 misdemeanors: impeding a highway, unlawful assembly, and disorderly conduct. And you know what? Know what comes to mind why they saying he took the shield? It probably was they put their hands on him and he probably basically tried to defend himself. Because have you ever seen any of this protest? People don't know shit, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, but the police got a right to do that. Like for instance, you sick your dog on me and I fuck your dog up, you can get in charge for fucking up the dog. But they sick this vicious ass dog that you trained to fuck me up. You know what I mean? Like, who gonna just really let this motherfucker bite on you? But if you hit the dog or hurt the dog or kill the dog, like if you kill a dog, they talking about that's like killing the actual police officer. They got more respect for the dog than they got for you. I hate this place. And Peter Highway Unlawful Assembly. But that just came through the spirit, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I tell you. He probably literally, the police officer probably hit him with the shield or something. But because they being petty, because they, like I said, the earth isn't given into their hands, you know what I mean? Tilson is accused of 3 kinds of disorderly conduct. You only get really charged with 1, but they charge you with 3, right? Now, these are all misdemeanors, but can only be, there you go, right there. Tilson is accused of 3 kinds of disorderly conduct. Because I've been in trouble before. Like, you don't get charged with all 3 different disorderly conducts. You only got certain kind of disorderly conducts. You got, you know what I mean? It says can be convicted of only one: engaging in violent or threatening behavior, obscuring traffic, or disturbing the lawful assembly at Mount Rushmore. If convicted, Tilson faces up to 10 years in prison for the robbery charge and 2 years for simple assault. Now, that's trying to say robbery is basically he took the shield. So if you hit me with the shield and I'm not letting you hit me with it, and then I'm stronger than you, or for whatever reason, I get it out of your hand, that's robbery? Well, I mean, you got to remember, kidnapping is if I come into the room and I pull you out your bedroom and put you in the fucking living room, that could be considered kidnapping because I moved you. If convicted, Tilson faces up to this is the craftiness of the devil, though. If convicted, Tilson faces up to 10 years in prison for the robbery charge and 2 years for the simple assault. Disorderly conduct carries a maximum punishment of 30 days in jail, with the other misdemeanors, while the other misdemeanors have a maximum punishment of 1 year in jail. Tilson's charges stem from his participation in Friday's indigenous-led civil disobedience action near Mount Rushmore, and that goes into why Trump went so hard on that speech. How dare you try to obscure us from coming to our monument? But when I bring out this actual information about the history, this land wasn't even his. Where President Donald Trump spoke at an Independence Day fireworks celebration. About 150 demonstrators used vans and their bodies to block a checkpoint, preventing ticket holders from reaching the event through that route. So they really didn't get violent. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, I can see Trump telling them to literally, like, move them. And because Trump made a statement about, like, with all the protests, he said basically along the lines he used to start basically shooting them. Preventing ticket holders. Then you got these stupid ass people talking about he making it great again and all this old dumb ass shit, man. Preventing ticket holders from reaching the event. Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain things that he ain't going along with. They wanted to shut down the whole country. Trump ain't trying to do all like that, because that's the case. You know how fucked up it'll really be? But at the same time, like, at the end of the day, he only got so much power. He don't really have no fucking power. He worked for people that controlling the money he getting. You know what I mean? Like, at about 150 demonstrators used vans and their bodies to block a checkpoint, preventing ticket holders from reaching the event through that route in order to protest the president and monument while calling for the Black Hills to be returned. Now, this is the point. In order to protest the president and monument while calling for the Black Hills to be returned to the Lakota people. Tilson was one of about 15 people who remained in the street knowing they would be arrested after the 30-minute warning to vacate. So I'm not even going to go into any more of it, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm just bringing up the article. So the rest goes into basically, well, they made it hard for him. I think I did read that part earlier, because they was like, basically, he should have got a personal bond, but they made sure he had to pay a bond. I'm going to get that part. It says Bruce Ellison, Tilson's defense lawyer, had asked Magistrate Judge Sarah Morrison to issue a personal reconnaissance bond, meaning Tilson wouldn't need to pay any money to leave jail. But the prosecutor, and that's who really runs these courts, you know, the judge and the prosecutor, and you know, they all in cahoots. You got to remember, most of them all affiliated. Like when a public defender, you got people so stupid that they thinking because the public defender is saying that I help you, that don't mean they work with these people day in and day out, and they might like transfer courtrooms they like bus drivers. Bus drivers might ride the same route for 3 months. That's how prosecutors and public defenders work. But who you think paying for you when you ain't got the money for the Lord? This is how, man, this shit blatantly in your face. You know what I mean? But for them to appease themselves at night so they could sleep better. Or, I mean, you know, they did so much of the devil. You gotta remember all the wickedness these people did. They probably sleep well regardless. Like I said, I just watched a video. A dude dating a Jake woman, but did make a side talking about, if I was a nigger, I'd be picking cotton, but I'm not a nigger, so therefore, well, he didn't say nigger. He said, if I was black, I'd be picking cotton. But since I'm not, I'm picking you. And that's supposed to be romantic to him. And that's not just because he's just ignorant. Well, he's ignorant, but I'm just saying that's the pride. You know what I mean? They don't think that they did no wrong. And that's why when that's why, like I said, like right now, why you think they so angry? Take the time to think about this. Why do you think these Edomites is just blowing down on Jake? You got so many videos going viral where Jake just walking down the street and some Edomite bitch or Edomite dude flip out and come out of the cut and get to just doing some racist shit. Why do you think that is? Because they catching hell. And they not built for the hell they about to catch. It says, it says issue a personal reconnaissance bond, meaning Tilson wouldn't need to pay any money. But the prosecutor with the Pennington County State's Attorney Office requested that $2,500 cash only, meaning he couldn't come up with the 10%. He needed the $2,500 to pay a bond for Tilson to be required to wear an ankle monitor that would have restricted his travel. So they want to know where he's going too. Now, mind you, they said that was over the top. It says the prosecutor said Tilson was involved in the process, which became violent and stole a shield from a law enforcement officer. And based on that recommendation, the judge followed that. That's why they say, if you really know anything, that's why them prosecutors go on to be like major judges and shit. It says, and stole a shield from a law enforcement officer, making her frightened for her life. Oh, it's a female. Hey, she got a dangerous job, but she fight for her. That's what I'm saying. This place is stupid. When you really take the time to like, just sit back and just don't even say nothing. Just like sit back for like, I heard some very wise shit. They was like this old school Jay. He said, my dad was very, very wise because he wouldn't talk most of the time. He would just sit back and observe everything. You learn a lot by being quiet. This woman literally took a job that's dangerous and then put yourself in a position where you dealing with a man that's literally, this is not no guess. Scientifically, it's proven. You had a dude that literally called himself, he identified as a woman to break the record of women. You got these women taking steroids, all this shit. They thinking they so strong. He didn't take no steroids, literally said, I'm a woman today, went and broke the record and then said, I'm a man again, just to prove a fucking point. You know what I mean? But these people got you so bugged out thinking that, man, it says Elson, and then like you said, they looking at you crazy. I love women. I just love a woman in her right mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck you gonna be stronger than me, tougher than me? Like I said, you know how much confusion that shit bring? Then you'll be the same one to help me. Elson shared that Tilson was the founder of Thunder Valley Community Development Corporation, which this is a legitimate thing. He's supposed to have the right to protest. But because I'm going to show you the strength of the Esau, it says, and listed the awards and fellowships he received. So this is a legitimate organization that's basically speaking up like on behalf of the community. Because you got to remember, even though Esau did what he did to Mount Rushmore, it's still Gad that's over in that land or in that area. He said it's just when Esau want to visit it, he expects you, nigga, get out the way. It was like when Rome used to come to Jerusalem. He said his client has family support, strong ties, rapid city. So basically he's a pillar in the community. But because Esau saying you cross me, this is what Esau do to him. He said he didn't resist arrest and isn't a danger to society or flight risk. Now, you hit me with a shield to push me back, I'm going to take that bitch too. Elson also said an ankle monitor would mean Tilson wouldn't be able to go home to Porcupine or visit his daughter, one of his 4 children in Twin Cities. Morrison said the request for an ankle monitor was not necessary or appropriate and set the bond at $2,000. So at the end of the day, they still gave him a bond or whatever. But it's really based on the fact that how dare you buck up to your masters? You get what I'm saying? Yeah, this is going to be probably a long one. Bear with me for a second. Salakia, and the reason why Esau has that pride and that mindset, because you got to remember, at one point in time, not only is he the most prideful individual on the planet, even though he's the most lowliest, this is the most nastiest, this is the most vilest individual on the earth. You know what I mean? Like, real talk. You got to remember, these people literally, if you ever go into history, Esau, that's why, I can say in modern day times, since I just been living. I remember I used to have a lot of restaurant jobs. And yeah, of course, it's automatically a cook supposed to always, or a person that works in a restaurant and she's supposed to wash their hands. But I've seen Esau literally be wearing business suits and go into the motherfucking restaurant and literally, we might both be in the bathroom, using the bathroom, but this motherfucker walk right out and don't even wash his hands. But then he got a business suit on. So you probably got to speak to people, shake people's hands, all kind of nasty shit. You know what I mean? It's just, at the end of the day, they got that mindset because of the fact that, you know what I mean, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. So that's that pride. You know what I'm saying? You just imagine the pride of a 2/3 nigga or a nigga woman. You know what I mean? So just imagine his pride. You know what I mean? I watched the Edomite with a shirt talking about we've been ruling the world since 1776. Just proud. You know what I'm saying? This is Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and that they seldom say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not, and which is the truth. You know, the people that's put them in positions of heads and authorities of Israel, like that bitch that what's her Lori Lightfoot, the bitch that's the mayor of Chicago, or them three dyke bitches that run Black Lives Matter. You want black men to help you, literally. Like, I looked at that one black guy that literally went on CNN and made that statement talking about we gonna get change by force. It could be figuratively, or it could be actually actually physically. You know what I mean? You just painted a bullseye on your face. Now you representing the organization that the people that's actually running the organization don't even show their face. And then when you go into the actual documentation to figure out who run it, they all three lesbian bitches. 3 nigga lesbian bitches at that. They don't even like niggas. You know what I'm saying? But they put a nigga on TV to say that tough guy shit, right? And they say, so at the end of the day, that's why Esau has that, because at the end of the day, we still in his possession. You know what I mean? The difference is he don't just got Jake in his possession. He got basically, he got pretty, he don't even give a fuck about his own people. That's why this new world order is going to affect everybody. But at the same time, he really hates Jake because of that perpetual hatred that he has for us. This is the book of Ezekiel 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel, which he has been doing since we got over here, and he's doing it still to this day. You know what I'm saying? Why? I mean, people don't even notice. I constantly bring this up. Just imagine what kind of day and age. And then you motherfuckers got sympathy or want to go along and get along spirit with these motherfuckers. You have had people, at least 4 or 5 Jakes within this whole George Floyd situation found hanging in certain cities, man. Let me get this other article, Salakia. Okay, I got another article. This is called by the Smithsonian at that. Smithsonian Magazine, The Sordid History of Mount Rushmore. The sculptor behind the American landmark has some unseemly ties to white supremacy groups. A view of Mount Rushmore under construction, 1938 to 1339, is written by Matthew Shayer, Smithsonian Magazine, subscribed October 2016. And back into what I was saying previously, that it was a reason why he didn't just decide one day to literally, we're going to do the speech at Mount Rushmore. That was a symbol of their pride. If you know anything about July 4th and what it actually signifies, and then on top of it, America did a major move that day. They literally sent troops out to Taiwan because China is basically trying to get to, because it's a whole thing going on between India and China. And then, basically India and Americas are allies and China and Russia are allies. China trying to get that area over there. Man, y'all people don't even get it. And Taiwan is an ally of America. So America literally made a statement. They said, if you're going to think you're going to just go do that to India, or because basically they got to go through Taiwan to get to India. So they if you think you're going to do that, basically it is about to be ugly. Because you got Russia that's siding with, if you really back and sit back at look at the geopolitical scales of this, you got Russia that's dealing with China and, Iran and certain countries, Venezuela. Then you got America that's dealing with certain countries like South Korea. It's this is about to be ugly. That's why you talk about in the book of Joel about the Valley of Jehoshaphat. They already over there, lightweight. Okay, Salakia, though. It says each year 2 million visitors walk or roll from the entrance of Mount Rushmore National Memorial in South Dakota to the Avenue of Flags to peer up at the 60-foot visages of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt. And take the time to think about that. This wasn't like the original founding fathers. They all played a part in something. Why would you jump from the very first president to I forgot what number Abraham Lincoln was, and Tom Jefferson, all the way to Teddy Roosevelt? But when go actually pay attention to the different things that they have done in history, each president, Democrat or Republican, they literally, it's not no separate parties. That's all a mind illusion, mind fuck thing. Because at the end of the day, literally, they both all working for the interest of one thing. Why do you think shit that Trump is enacting now actually was signed into law when Obama was in office? Because it's all like why do you think they get paid the way they get paid? A president, once he becomes president, he always gets paid. No, even though he don't hold the office anymore. So what kind of deals, what kind of selling of your soul did you do to get that position? It says, dedicated 75 years ago this month, Mount Rushmore was attended by its creator, Gutzon Borgul, to be a celebration of not only these four presidents, but also the nation's unprecedented greatness. This colossus is our mark, he wrote with typical bombast. Yet Bogum's own sordid story shows that this beloved site is also a testament to the ego and ugly ambition that undergird even our best known triumphs. And that, like I said, once again, reiterating, it was a particular reason why, Trump chose to go to that site. You got people don't know nothing about sacred energy or sites, or that's why in Jerusalem you had certain altars built up for and then they was taken down and pagan shrines was built up, but then you had certain kings that would go around and actually tear down them pagan sites. Well, like I say, come on, when you go into like I said, like America, like say, I could see that on that day because all these Americans was in a prideful spirit, even though you got some, I got brothers that's actually in like food service and stuff like that. They was like, well, shit, you had more Jakes actually in that spirit of 4th of July. You still got these dumbass niggas still shooting fireworks. You wasted money on. Do you even understand what the point of 4th of July is? It's not pride for you. It's pride for Esau. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pride for the people that conquered this land. You got these dumbass niggas, them Hodge twins wearing a shirt because it's black and say 1776. I can't stand them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they got the nerve to talk about they struggled and shit. So you sold your soul for a little bit of nothing. Because now that you live in, you vote Republican, you so stupid you can't even see it's two sides of the same coin. It's like fucking how Two-Face was on Batman. You just got a scratch on one prettier than the other. It says, in 1914, Borgum was a sculptor in Connecticut of the modest acclaim when he received an inquiry from the elderly president of the United Daughters of the Confederacy, C. Helen Plain, about building a shrine to the South. Near Atlanta, when he first glimpsed the virgin stone of his canvas, a quartz hump called Stone Mountain, Borgum later recalled, I saw the thing I had been dreaming of all my life. He sketched out a vast sculpture of General Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson and was hired. Salakia. Mormons, he was the son of, I'm trying to get to the point because basically it says Mormon, but he had a white supremacy. It said the son of polygamous Mormons from Idaho, Borgum had no ties to the Confederacy, but he had white supremacist leanings. In letters, he fretted about a mongrel horde overrunning the Nordic purity of the West. That's some shit like Benjamin Franklin said. And once said, I would not trust an Indian. But this was their land and helped your punk ass peoples survive here. It's the pride of the devil, though. A white man, 1 out of 10. Above all, he was an opportunist. He aligned himself with the Ku Klux Klan, an organization reborn. It had faded after the Civil War. But how did it fade? Because you still got the Ku Klux Klan around today. It had faded after the Civil War in a torchlight ceremony atop Stone Mountain in 1915. Did not know that. While there isn't proof that Borgum officially joined the Klan, which helped fund the project, he nonetheless became deeply involved in Klan politics, and which I can believe they've helped fund it. Because when you go into the Klan, those were like a lot of basically racist Confederate soldiers. You know what I mean? But now today the Klan ain't just, you know what I mean? Like it's all about, because at the end of the day, if you so blind that you can't see that monument is a testament to white supremacy. Because when you really go into it, they literally took the land from the people that was there and broke their promises like they always do. It tells you in scripture about why, O Israel, do thou trimmest thy ways to seek of love. You know what I mean? Like you doing anything to be loved and admired by this fucking devil that would never love you because his pride ain't gonna allow it. That's how the Creator made him. The fuck? He made him for a purpose. That's why the book of Proverbs tell you 16:4 that the Most High, all things were made by the, roughly paraphrasing, all things were made by the Most High, even the wicked. You going to these stupid ass churches that ain't even telling you what time you in. You believing that the devil and the Most High God is fighting against each other. Let me ask you a question. How is something that you created going to be stronger than you? The Most High so cold, if you actually understand the Bible, and it's literally in the scriptures, the Most High actually created the Messiah, and then the Messiah and the Elohim, Salakia, Elohim actually created, the heavens and everything else. You know what I mean? They created the earth and everything. It tells you that in the scripture. It says, I wanted to find, it's telling you, here we go, from supporting the Klan, memorizing Lincoln, what are we to make of the trajectory? Anyone who creates a immensely popular sculpture by dynamiting there it go. Because basically they destroyed the landmark that was already there. Hold on for a second. Salakia. Okay, it says Borgum's decision to work with the Klan wasn't even a sound business proposition. By the mid-1920s, infighting left the group in disarray and fundraising for the Stone Mountain Memorial stalled. Around then, the South Dakota historian behind the Mount Rushmore initiative approached Borglum and overturned that enraged Borglum's Atlanta backers who fired him on February 25th, 1925. He took an axe to his models for the shrine and with a posse of locals on his heels, fled to North Carolina. A true story of Goldson Borglum and his obsessive quest to create the Mount Rushmore National Monument. The Stone Monument sponsors sandblasted Borglum's work and hired a new archers. And that's most of the things, though. Like, when you go into, like, the design of Washington, D.C., like, most people don't even know that. Like, I don't know what kind of pride or how the Most High did that, because, like, when you go into Washington, D.C., and then you got these stupid-ass niggas that still want to try and deal with Esau, it was a Frenchman that actually supposed to design it, but it was a so-called Jake that actually brought it to fruition, because the Frenchman actually quit the job. But they had, I'm going to let you look that up on your own, though. He literally was so brilliant, by the little short time he actually worked with the Frenchman, the Edomite, he literally remembered and actually could reproduce the whole design by memory. That's why I tell you in scripture, Jacob is the former of all things. From supporting the Klan to memorizing Lincoln, what are we to make of the trajectory? Anyone who creates an immensely popular structure by dynamiting 450,000 tons of stone from the Black Hills deserves recognition. Telefonero says, we like to think of America as the land of self-made success. And you see what they just said. Now, if I go into the history of that, like, literally, I may go try and grab it real quick. But this is the sentiment of these Edomites. They literally, he said, well, anybody that could just do what he did, basically destroying something that was of import to somebody else, that made him successful. Because Esau, you know what I mean? And that's how you know you under the grasp and under the control of this Edomite. You just ain't in chains, or you don't pay homage to a king, but it's really people that's ruling the world. You know what I mean? That's why just to be in this land or to do certain things, you got to comply with certain shit. They just made you stay in the house for months. And people still think, and then they literally, to show you how cold the Most High is, he literally got everybody alive. I think kids recognizing this. Because you got to remember, kids used to be like, well, we could do this. And just prior to this, we was doing this. Now, school shut down. We just out here. You know what I mean? It says, anybody could create an immensely popular structure by dynamiting 450,000 tons of stone from the Black Hill deserves recognition. Telefonero says, we like to think of America as the land of self-made success. But the flip side of that coin, he says, is it's our very selfishness. The flip side of that coin, he says, is that it's our very selfishness. Right. Our very selfishness, enlightened perhaps, but primal in its drive for self-advancement. They had a term called manifest destiny, which it was to a certain extent because the Most High ordained and allowed and he wanted certain things to happen. But like I said, when they took over like this land from Gad, they called it manifest destiny. They said the Most High was behind them to actually do all this. To the point that Esau is literally, the hammer of the earth. That tells you the scripture. That's why he got all the military bases in all the other countries, all the embassies and shit. But he's losing his power. He still got his teeth, he still got his military, but the financial power, the grip that he had on the earth that's with. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got food. I'm talking about a pack of beef hot dogs cost like damn near $5. You ain't supposed to pay no $5 for it. Man. And it's not the fact that like food, even though food is getting scarce to a certain extent because it's a drought coming, they euthanized all them animals. But on top of it, the dollar is not worth as much as it was. They just printed all those trillions of dollars to put in the economy. When you have a surplus, what makes something rare and actually like worth something is the rarity of it. When you got an abundance of something, that's when it makes it, you know what I'm saying? That's why like Porsche and shit like that, like certain car companies, they had to go down on the prices of certain cars because, the car industry fucked up because if you ain't got no money, how you gonna buy it? You know what I mean? People that got real wealth, they not buying shit like niggas is or the person that don't know nothing about no money. Shit, Warren Buffett ain't even spending money like that. That's how you know it's a problem about that. Anyhow, it says enlightened perhaps, but primal in its drive for self-advancement. That is the building block of our red, white, and blue civilization, and no one represents that paradox better than Gutzon Borglum. Now, I was going to go look up the Lakota Indians thing, but I think I'm going to get it real quick just through the spirit. And the funny part is to show you how this devil steal everything. When you go into the colors red, white, and blue, they didn't even create that. That come from another Salaki. That come from a totally different culture. All they are, these Edomites, they're not very creative. The Lord gives knowledge and wisdom and strength to whomever he will. He used everybody like it said, if it be for the Most High, who could come against it? Roughly paraphrasing. All things work to the good to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But, they're not very creative. They're culture vultures. That's why America's mingled with all these different philosophies and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least in China, they got like they had one way of life until Esau got over there. And basically, that's why it tells you about literally the whore that have made the whole world drink of her wine. You know what I mean? It's when Esau get involved with shit that's when, you got these cultures that fuck up. That's why you think them Arabs is fighting so hard. You know what I mean? Like they don't want they women to turn into the Edomite women. You know what I mean? I've seen that literally happen. I remember when I was in Florida with my demon, she worked for a Moabite and she was talking about how the Moabite woman was cussing him out. And I'm like, well, hold up. That don't sound right. I'm like, shit, they women usually in order. But because they was probably Americanized, you know what I mean? That's why, I've heard cultures say that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I met a Ishmaelite over here, and like the bitch is a dyke. And I was like, I told the bitch one day because she got a smart ass mom. She thinks she a nigga because they bought her projects. But at the same time, I'm like, these niggas don't fuck with you like that for real. You know what I'm saying? They might fuck with you because you give them shit here and there. But when this shit get bad, they about to take from you. At the end of the day, I'm like, you so much of an abomination. That's why you got to stay here. You probably will never go back over there because they'll rape you and probably kill you afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't play that shit. Like, that's old world. Like, they still raping bitches in the marketplace. Bear with me for a second. Salakia, this is a quick article. This is Native Hope blog. It's July 3rd, 2020, 3 o'clock, Native Hope. The six grandfathers before it was known as Mount Rushmore. The Indians' victory at Little Bighorn. I don't really want that. The Little Bighorn battle now National Monument. The Little Bighorn battlefield represents the end of the way of life for the Indian people, the Superintendent Gerald Baker said as he gestured toward the battlefield in the rolling hills of southern Montana, which was crowded with tourists. When Indian people come here, they cry and they get mad for the loss of that way of life. That freedom is something we'll never get back. That's what this place is for. The story behind Mount Rushmore, this was our one. The six grandfathers was named by Lakota medicine man Nicholas Black Elk after a vision. The vision was of six sacred directions: west, east, north, south, above, and below. And that's spiritual within itself. But Esau is really not a spiritual person. You know, and if he is, he's spiritual on the left hand side. He fuck with witchcraft and sorcery, and you know what I mean. Like literally, that's why everything is all man numbers and numerology and sacred geometry and all that. That's why Washington D.C. is actually built in a pentagram shape. You know what I mean? Like, why do you think, man? Anyhow, Salakia. It says the directions were said to represent kindness and love, full of years of wisdom, like human grandfathers. The granite bluff that towered above the hills remained carved only by the wind and the rain until 1927, when Gutso Borgum began his assault. Because which that's what it was. You know what I mean? He took something sacred to the natives that was at this on this land and took it from them and actually desecrated it. And you know, and that's why I read and started off with that scripture in Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. And if not, who and where is he? And that's wicked for you to literally not know how to survive on the land, get help by the people that was originally here, and then basically take the land from them. That's the fucking devil. So I got like 2 more scriptures and I'm in this lesson. I didn't mean to make this that long. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1. No, let me get this other one. This is book of Psalm 73, verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. And who is not in trouble like other men? This so-called white man is actually, which is actually red. You know, it's funny. They took a, you know, if you ever met real Indians, they're not red. They have melanin. They look like I've seen pictures of so-called Indians that are as dark, if not darker than me. So at the end of the day, where did this term red come from? But it is a person on the planet that get red. That blood shows forth through their skin. They not white. You know what I'm saying? Like white. You know, there ain't nobody the actual color of white. You probably think that's an alien. Anyhow, it says they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. They just starting to see a little trouble. And through their pride, it talks about pride in the scriptures. That's how you know the Lord really hates them for real. It tells you in the book of Proverbs about 7 things the Most High hate. And there's pride is one of them things. And the most powerful fucking person on this planet is this fucking, that's why he couldn't survive here and then still figured out a way to fucking snake, you know, Gad out of the land. Gad being, you know, compassionate people, you know what I mean? Just like Jake is for real. Jake compassionate. You know, I was listening to this Edomite. He was on YouTube. He made a video. He was talking about how he got a black friend because, you know, he played football with him and whatnot. You know, and I could think he really Jake, though, because he was just too comfortable. He made a joke about it, but, you know what I mean? Like Jake sometimes, like I said, I brought out that scripture about it said, why do, O Israel, thou trimmest thy ways to seek love? You know what I mean? Like Jake want to get along with everybody when everybody don't want to get along with you. Everybody profits off of Jake. You know what I mean? Then, I mean, and that's how you know this is a spiritual thing. As strong as Jake is, we might be the best athletes. We might be the best this, best that. You know what I mean? Those that can persevere through anything. You know, you take a person from the ghetto in conditions that most people don't thrive. It's like a rose growing through cement. Jake, you would take a Jake that grew up in the worst conditions and actually end up owning his own fucking company on a Fortune 500 company. That has happened here. Even though this is not your rest. It tells you in scriptures this is not your rest. You wasn't supposed to come here to thrive. That's why a lot of people are going to be put in that position where you're going to have to choose this way of this society, or, you know, you're going to have to choose the Most High. Because all this shit about to go to a digital. Life is changing in your face as you know it. They already locking down cities again. Why do you think you got to wear a mask everywhere you go now? That, you know, our mayor passed that, you know, but basically it's a money thing too, because now they could just blow it into any restaurant. Oh, you're not complying. I'm about to charge you. Right. This shit, man, it's Salaki. It says Psalm 73 and verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men. Neither are they plagued like other men. And they not. You know what I mean? The average Edomite, like you got some that's fucked up, but even then, that's how you know it's a particular people. I've been homeless before. I've seen Edomite smell like shit. But because that white privilege, while they talking about that shit don't exist, they still prouder than you. You know what I mean? They go to the front of the line of the fucking soup kitchen line. I done seen this shit. I've witnessed this with my own eyes. They not play. And then the average Edomite, like, you got a lot of people who lost their job, but most Edomites ain't struggling like that. Man, listen, majority of the federal government is employed or employ Edomites. So did you know throughout all these places shutting down and all that shit, did you know that what sector of employment wasn't affected by that? Federal government. Verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment. They are the most violent people on the planet. That's why I got a book that somebody hit me onto. I think it was a brother. It literally showing you picture by picture. They actually made a book of them hanging Jakes. Literally, you go look this fucking book up. Know what? Know who mentioned it? It was the dude, Bill Dukes from the Terminator. The black Jake, Bill Dukes. He mentioned the book, and I went to go look it up. And you can't get no books from the library right now. And what they want for it, I'm not about to buy it, but you can go look it up on PDF. I mean, they literally, that's pride. But then it show you how retarded they is too. Because on one hand you proud, but then at the same time you don't want people to know the atrocities that you did. But it tell you in Second Thessalonians about the son of perdition is going to be revealed. And this man is being revealed now. That's why you got legislation that says 666. And you got motherfucking just the atrocities that he has done. Like I said, the thing is, American media is actually like censored and actually like controlled. Other medias in other countries see what's going on in America. Our skirt is, it tells you in the book of Isaiah chapter 47 about showing thy nakedness and their skirts being lifted up, roughly paraphrasing. Like, this bitch is getting revealed for the whore she is. This is the same place that go be in bed with all these different countries for greed and money. That's why it talks about that whore that set upon that great beast. You know what I mean? Which is America. I got the last scripture. I'm going to end the lesson on this. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. It's true history. You can go look this up. These people actually dealt in caves. That's where you get that caveman. I ain't never seen an image of a black caveman or so-called black caveman. When you see that, you see the image. Remember the Geico commercial? There wasn't no dark-skinned people. Everything else is a white image, but that's the one time he was telling the truth. Right, the fuck. And if you don't like it, hey, it must be spiritually cutting you. At the end of the day, that's why it tells you in scripture that the scriptures is a double-edged sword. It can heal you and it can cut your ass at the same time. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. Look at the buildings they build. Like I said, they live in skyscrapers. They like being up high. That's why, they don't mind climbing mountains, and they want to go to other planets, and you know what I mean? That's just the way that the Most High created them. But when you go into the architecture, that's how I know through the spirit, I know that I got the truth. When you go into the architecture of Esau, Edom, you know what I mean? And then look at the architecture today in America. When you go look at that, it's the same architecture. When you look at the city halls and the government buildings, they're built the same exact way. It says, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You just seen that speech that I put in the intro of the video, and Lord willingly, he literally, like I said, the Lord, he like the feds. When the feds come get you, the feds got all the evidence they need. They ain't coming on no half-ass shit like the regular basic local police. No, when the feds got you, they got you 6 months, a year of just tape recordings and pictures and video. So when they hit you with this shit, you ain't got no way to really bargain up out of it. That's why I don't give. You'd be better off just going to because what you gonna do? You pay a lawyer, he's not gonna get you up out of that shit. They got you dead to rights. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. The shit, you ain't up there telling them what they gonna give you. They gonna if we give you 20 when you was looking at 80, you gonna be happy with the 20. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai? Because at the end of the day, it's going to take the Most High and his son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, to bring this devil down. Yahweh Shai is the one that blessed this man with the gift. Well, it was Yahweh through Yahweh Shai that blessed this man with the gift. And it's going to have to be Yahweh, why Yahweh shall to take that gift away. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you got these so-called black militias. You know what I mean? Brother's been doing videos on that. Like I say, that's how you know this is not of men. A man would be that black militia shit. I was watching Esau's reaction to that shit. You could tell Esau not worried about it. The dude walked up on the car. He got a motherfucking AR-15. Esau just talking to him. He like, give me some money. Esau looking at him like, man, fuck you for real. He joking with him, talking to him, but he wasn't nervous in no kind of fucking way. Then I'm listening to military people. You know what I mean? They like, dude, like, well, shit. You know, he like, well, just because you was in the service doesn't mean you know actual tactics or you know about war like that. Because you got different jobs and you got people that might not never shoot a gun. They might have to train with the gun to pass basic training, but they might work on cars or work in the soup kitchen. I'm talking about actual soldiers. He was like, shit, they walking in a straight line. They walking in a column when you're supposed to walk staggered. Because think about it. If a person just opened up on you, what if Esau would have been in the cut? Like, because they said they blew down there because of the Klan. And, you made threats, so we ain't going to be threatened. What if Esau was up there with a group of people and they just opened up on him? But y'all supposed to be the military. This man is set up, but it's ultimately of the Most High. It tells you about the stumbling blocks that the Most High have put before thee. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, he doesn't want everybody to get it. Some people are not worthy. That's what it tells you in the scriptures. Don't cast thy pearls before swine. But a lot of people is content with this way of life. That's why you're going to have a lot. But the thing is ultimately, you know what scared the shit out of me? When I realized that, damn, no matter what you do, you can't get up out of this because at the end of the day, the thing is, I can see what's coming to a certain extent because call Haloyim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh, he allowed me to have that spiritual ourselves to see what's going on. But at the same time, you cannot prepare for it because what the only way you really can truly prepare is by building that relationship now while you got grace with the Most High. Because at the end of the day, this is the will of the Most High on the left-hand side. There's no way to get around this. That's how you know this is the mark of the beast. Because it tells you in scripture, you will not be able to buy or sell save ye had the mark. They about to switch everything to a digital currency. That's all. That's in the legislation when they actually passed the bill to give you the $1,200. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how proud this devil is. He literally put it in your face. And a spiritual man can see that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, a carnal 2/3 nigga like Esau and these 2/3, they not. Esau probably don't even think he did nothing off. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's why he don't think he really did nothing wrong about desecrating that sacred ground. And then, like I say, at the end of the day, for you to persecute the people that was originally on the land, that's their heritage. They probably go off every year seeing all these fucking Edomites coming. Man, but I mean, like I read in the book of Jeremiah, 15:5, you know what I mean? Who shall pity thee? You know what I mean? Like roughly paraphrasing. The only person that's going to pity thee is the Most High, Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. And that's when you come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Until then, you know what I mean? And what this Edomite got planned, oh my God, it's about to be horrible. So with that, I'm going to end the lesson. I hope it was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory. Call Haloyim, La Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me the truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, it was an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad. The land of other nations looking like the other nations, but subscribing to the truth. To the USA, shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly, shalom, shalom, and a Bible ball. Shalom.